Hello, BookTube. I'm Jonathan, and today we're going to be talking about aliens. And in order to talk about aliens, I have recruited Robin from the book Wormhole. Robin, do you like reading about friendly aliens or evil aliens?
I prefer friendly aliens.
Friendly aliens. I like it. I'm impartial to I'm partial to a friendly alien. I would like to think that if I met an alien, I would become friends with that alien. But some of these aliens in these books, they're just not so friendly. So we're going to dive into 10 of our favorites. I'll be providing 5. Robin will be providing 5. And let us know in the comments some of your favorite aliens in sci-fi books that you've read. Robin, are you ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Yeah, let's dive into the extraterrestrials. I will kick us off with my first alien that I really enjoyed reading about was the Overlords in Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke.
That was one of mine, yep.
Robin's excited.
I prepared an extra one.
So if you've watched any of my collaborations before, normally I divvy up the topics as in one person will be doing hard sci-fi, one person will be doing soft sci-fi. Today we've overlapped, so I prepared a couple extra just in case Robin enjoyed some of mine as well. But that's good because we can talk about them. We both read Childhood's End, and the Overlords are awesome because they come to Earth and they just kind of hover over these major cities in these spaceships, and humans don't know why they're here. Are they friendly? Are they here to learn? Are they here to observe? Are they here to help? Or are they here to destroy us? And this video is going to be pretty much spoiler-free. We will have to tell you that there are aliens in each of these books, but we're not going to spoil any endings or anything too crazy like that. So I'll keep this pretty vague. The appearance of the Overlords is very interesting. It's something that's kind of familiar, and you might think, okay, I wonder why that is their biology, their physiology, and that creates a kind of cool mystery. And when the explanation is revealed, absolutely loved it. I think they look cool, their motivations are cool. It's just one of my all-time favorite aliens. Did you like the Overlords as much as I did, Robin?
Absolutely, yeah, that was going to be one of my picks, but as I said, I've prepared. The appearance was going to be one of the talking points. A lot of the books I chose, a common theme is humans being disarmed by the appearance of aliens. And I think, in that early section of the book when the Overlords first come to Earth, they refuse to show their faces to the humans because they know that the humans are going to have this terrible reaction to seeing them. So I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, the ending, the almost like explanation of why they are familiar in appearance to humans. I thought that was super cool. Probably one of my favorite aspects of the book. And another talking point I had about the Overlords was their relationship with humans in the book. Apropos of the title, Childhood's End, the Overlords have this kind of parent relationship to humans. And the humans in the book, they want to rebel like children. Even though the Overlords, they bring utopia to the Earth. They want what's best for humans. But the humans don't always go along with their plans. So I thought that was a really interesting dynamic that is just for that book.
Yeah, this Childhood's End blew me away. I thought the kind of questions it posed for me as an individual, as well as more existential things to do with humanity, I thought was so interesting, and it kind of set up a couple of things and then would go in another direction. And recently I've heard a couple of people say they didn't like part 3. Did you like, without saying what it is, did you like the final act of Childhood's End?
I did. I thought it did go in like kind of a unforeseen direction for me. But yeah, I loved it. It was probably my favorite part of the book.
Yes. All right, Robin. Team Childhood's End ending. I love it. Robin, what is your first alien that you're a fan of?
Okay. Haha. I chose the Oankali from the Xenogenesis series, also called Lilith's Brood by Octavia E. Butler. This is another book, or this is a trilogy, that involves alien invasion. Despite what I said about liking friendly aliens, what I like about this book is the complex relationship humans have with these aliens. In this book, humans have destroyed Earth in nuclear war, and the Oankali have abducted all survivors and returned them to recovered Earth in exchange for only wanting to breed with them.
Oh no!
As this is part of their evolutionary cycle, and they've done this before with several other species as well. So it left me wondering if the Oankali are morally good. Despite the fact that they are saving the humans, they're healing them, they fixed Earth for us, but they want something in exchange. And while they are helping out the humans and asking for their consent too, they won't breed with any human without their consent. There is this drastic power imbalance between humans and Oankali. I also love that this is a non-humanoid species. That's a common thing that I really like in aliens, when they don't look human. And also, when humans first meet the Oankali, their initial reaction is just being horrified. And I also like that the Oankali are a 3-gendered species. They have male, female, and they have a 3rd gender called Oan. And Oans are necessary for procreation. And I also like that Oans are kind of the most important members of Oankali society. In the 3rd book, in the 2nd book, when the main character is a male Oankali, he's kind of treated as lesser than Oans, and treated in a very female role almost, which I thought was a really cool gender exploration.
Very interesting. I have not read this one. The only Octavia Butler book I've read is Wild Seed. I liked aspects of it. But some of the characters just, they really bugged me. They really got under my skin. You're not supposed to like them, and I certainly didn't. So she is someone on my list that I want to read more from. I had Kindred and Parable of the Sower on my list. Now I got to add this one. This one sounds more sci-fi, because some of her other stuff, it's like 10%. 20% sci-fi, but this sounds pretty full on.
This one's all the way through. You got biotechnology in it, where the ships are alive. There's so much cool sci-fi stuff in that one.
Awesome. So moving on to my second alien that I want to talk about. You guys know I'm a fan of this series. It is the Cielcin from Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio. So at the beginning of the story, which I think is around 12,000 years from today's future, humans have discovered a number of different aliens in the galaxy, and for the most part, they haven't caused them too much trouble. But the Cielcin, that's another story. They're fighting battles against the Cielcin. They're a pretty worthy opponent, and humans don't know a lot about them, though. They haven't really been able to communicate with them. They don't know a ton about their technology and their society and things like that yet. And so there's this potential that if you could learn more about them, if you could communicate with them, is there a way that they could work together, be peaceful, or at least, not be violent? Is this a war that's going to finish with just a scorched earth ending? Hadrian kind of gives us a little bit of a hint at the start of the book to which way it goes. But is it possible to work with the Cielcin? That was something that I found very interesting, both them learning more about them as a species, their physiology, their societal structures, and what can be done. Which way is this war going to go? And I might throw a picture up there or something. They're pretty vicious looking. I'm not optimistic about peace with the Cielcin, but you never know.
I don't know where you put the image, but
yeah, somewhere on screen. Anyway, Robin, have I sold you on Sun Eater? Are you interested in reading about this?
That's actually been on my TBR for quite a while. So I didn't know there were aliens in it, though. That is new to me.
Where is it? We got a little alien in the background, a little hairy one.
There's someone walking around there. Show us the dog.
Yeah, stick around. I might be able to get Charlie's attention at some point. So there you go. Yes. Also, language. Christopher Rocchio put a lot of effort into writing their language. So if you're someone that enjoys language, whether it comes to other species, aliens, fantasy creatures, that kind of stuff, I think you'll appreciate the effort that he put into the Cielcin language as well. So there you go. Robin, what is your second alien for us?
All right, my next alien pick is the Crocodiles from The City in the Middle of the Night by Charlie Jane Anders. So this is yet another non-humanoid alien species, and what I really like about them is their unique methods of communication. They don't speak like you or I, they transmit images, but through like physical touch. Also, the reason why they're non-humanoid is they are very much a product of their environment. In the City of the Middle of the Night, humans have emigrated to this tidally locked planet, and they're only able to live in the like dawn portion of the Earth. Not the Earth.
Ah, interesting.
The dawn portion of the planet.
Cool.
So on one side they got the boiling sun, and the other side it's freezing cold. And the crocodiles, they come from that freezing cold, completely night side of the planet. And because they can't verbally communicate and they like look really scary, they look like beasts, they are completely misunderstood by humans, and they're pretty much treated like wolves. They're hunted by humans.
I'm not making friends with no crocodile. Some crocodile comes up to me like, no way, buddy.
Well, they don't quite look like crocodiles, but that is the name that the humans have given them.
Crocodile-esque. Crocodile adjacent.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But while the humans just think that these aliens are monsters, they're actually highly intelligent, they're super developed, they have their own city in the middle of the night, as the book is called. And the main character ends up, forming a beautiful connection with one of the aliens.
Awesome. So that's cool. That kind of reminded me a little bit of Children of Time with the spiders. You have like a creature that is, not everybody likes spiders. Not everybody likes crocodiles. When I go to visit my wife's family in North Carolina or South Carolina and go to the beach, there's alligators on the golf course.
Is there really?
If I hit a ball near the edge of the water, I'm not going to get it. I'll just take a penalty drop and hit another one.
You gotta trust them and form that touch with them, and then you can communicate with them through images.
Yeah. I need to read the book. I need to read the book, learn how to communicate with the alligators. If you don't see me on YouTube again, you know what happened. Awesome. All right. I'll have to check that one out as well. That sounds pretty cool. All right. For my third alien recommendation, going in a very different direction, I'm going with the Harmoniums in the Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. So they don't appear for that. I think they only appear in one chapter. They're not really the main character. They're not storyline of the book. But this single chapter had such an impact on me. The Harmoniums are these tiny, barely conscious organisms. And there's a couple of interesting things about them, the way they respond to music and things like that. But the thing that really stuck with me was the way they communicate with each other. Because they can only send two messages. They can send a message, and then the second is an automatic response to the first. And the two things that they say to each other are, "Here I am, here I am, here I am." And the response is, "So glad you are, so glad you are, so glad you are." And this chapter just had me weeping. I couldn't believe how emotionally impacted I was by these tiny, barely sentient organisms. So for something kind of completely different from the wacky, absurd brain of Kurt Vonnegut, I highly recommend pretty much everything he wrote. But go check out The Sirens of Titan. It's one of his most sci-fi books, one of his best sci-fi books, and it includes the Harmoniums.
I just bought that book the other day, so I am
awesome. Good timing.
Into it.
So cool. It's gonna make you cry. Anyway,
I can already tell just from what you said. Vonnegut, I don't know. He's got that special touch.
Yeah, he speaks to me. All right, Robin, what is your third alien?
My third alien is going to be the Meduse from the Binti trilogy by Nnedi Okorafor.
Very cool.
So the Binti trilogy, this is a series that has a multitude of alien species all throughout it, but probably the most central to the main storyline is going to be the Meduse. Again, another non-humanoid alien. These ones kind of look like jellyfish. And what I really liked about these aliens is that they were simultaneously oppressors, but also the oppressed, depending on what group of people you talk to. And the politics of the Meduse really drives the series. In book 1, the Meduse have beef with Umza Uni, which is like the galactic university where all different species from all over the universe go to study at. But none of their species is actually represented at the university. But also, the university has on display their chief's stinger. So not only like stolen from the Meduse.
It'll be like someone having a human head at the.
Yeah, it's part of your physical body. But then we have in book 3, it's the Meduse's conflict with a group of humans called the Kosh, which is actually Binti's tribe's neighbor. But because they're so close to this conflict, her tribe ends up getting sucked into this conflict. So overall, I really liked it because I feel like it has a lot of metaphorical relevance to our history as humans and how we treat other groups of people. So I thought it was really cool.
Nice. I'm glad you connected with this one because Binti, I actually bought recently. It's on the TBR, so I'm glad you thought it had some interesting aliens in it. Something you said actually reminded me of another Tchaikovsky book with the oppressors and the oppressed, with Shards of Earth, the final architecture.
Also,
I don't know why I always forget whether it's architect or architecture. Just don't bring it up. You chose to bring it up, Jonathan, and you didn't know it, and now you look silly. That was on you, my friend. Anyway, Tchaikovsky, good at writing aliens, I guess. Yes, I'm looking forward to Binti. I'll let you know when I get to it. I'm looking forward to that one.
It's a real quick read too,
Yes, I think I bought the set that has kind of like the 3 novellas combined. I think
that's the one I have. Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, with my 4th alien, I'm gonna go with one that I'm gonna choose not to name, but it's in Pandora's Star by Peter F. Hamilton. So in Pandora's Star, you find out quite early on in the story that there are aliens, but there's a couple of different aliens. And there's one in particular, if you've read the book, I think you're gonna know which one it is. It is incredibly memorable because the aliens have such an interesting worldview. It's very not human. It's very and it's very strict. It's like, this is the way I think about myself. I think about you, the way I think about the universe. This is what it is, and it's when they come into contact with the humans, it's pretty impactful. I thought Peter F. Hamilton, with all the aliens that he wrote in Pandora's Star and the sequel Judas Unchained, he did a really good job of making them feel not human. He's like, they're pretty human, but they got blue ears or something. It's like, no, not only is there, like, biologically are they different, the way they think about things, the way they think about the universe is just totally not what I expected. Trying to kind of like rewire my brain to like understand where these aliens were coming from was such a fun part of that duology. So I'll leave you with this cryptic little thing for anybody that's read the book: multi-level marketing that has absolutely nothing and everything to do with the alien that I just described.
I'm intrigued. I do like your point about like the fact that the aliens truly feel alien. And when I was going through all my reads to pick out which books I wanted to talk about, there was quite a few handful of like books that had aliens, but they were so humanoid. They were so human. It was kind of like, this is just a person with a prosthetic on their face. You know what I mean? Like they didn't stand out to me because they weren't that different,
They're not human. They got 2 noses.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to do, though. I think that is the mark of a great sci-fi writer, because it's hard to think of something that's outside of your own experience.
Right.
So there you go. Robin, what is your 4th alien?
Alright, I'm gonna like speed round a few different aliens for my next pick, because my next pick is the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers.
Oh, very cool.
And there is a multitude of species all throughout the series, and a lot of them like crop up as important characters throughout the series, so you really get a chance to get to know a lot of the different species in the book. And I also think Chambers does a fantastic job of writing aliens. So yeah, we're gonna speed date these aliens real quick. The Aandrisks, which are feathered reptiles with unique family structures, and they are notably very sexually promiscuous, partially because their culture doesn't have that concept of having a single partner, really like the different family dynamic. There also is kind of like this found family dynamic with Aandrisks too, that they like choose their family.
Cool.
This next one, I'm going to butcher the name. Aluin, I think.
Oh, you got it. That's it. That's correct.
Yeah, you know, that very popular alien. So these guys, not going to try to say it again, they speak with color language, and they don't have vocal cords, so they've been technologically modified to have a voice box in order to be able to communicate with other species. And what I really like about them is that their ships and like their personal spaces, their clothes, they usually dress all in white or like don't have any color in them, because color can be overwhelming to them, and also they still perceive color as emotion. So they would look at my shirt and think, oh, she's mad at me, you know? This is also another alien species that has 3 genders, another thing I really like. But their third gender is like female and male in flux. They can kind of transition between the 2 sexes.
Interesting.
And the third alien I'm going to talk about is the Harmoniums. They're boneless mollusks who they travel with the help of machinery, because otherwise they move so much slower than all the other species and they can't keep up. They're also kind of the warmonger species, who've kind of calmed down after first contact, so there's this rich history behind them, but they are also very much the aliens that are in power in this universe. And also apparently their species is known for putting out really good punk music. So I love
rock on mollusks, rock on.
Yeah, you know, who would have thought? But Chambers does a really good job of depicting different needs of different bodies through the use of aliens, and I also like the way that she pokes fun at humankind. My favorite example has to be aliens being horrified by the concept of cheese. You know, cheese is a human delicacy, but it's made of breast milk from an animal that is not a human, and it's also like spoiled milk too.
Well, when you put it like that, Robin.
But you don't think of it like that because it's so normal for us. But aliens are like, that sounds disgusting. Why would you eat that?
Yeah, if the aliens are like, oh, this is something that comes out of our ears and we eat it and it's a delicacy. And you're like, that's gross. And they're like, no, trust me, it tastes delicious. You're like, I don't care. It sounds weird to me. I don't understand it and I'm not going to eat it.
Right.
I could see the aliens. I mean, they're missing out.
Yeah.
Cheese tastes great, but
all aliens are lactose intolerant.
Fair enough. Well, that's cool. That is another one that I bought recently and is on the TBR. So you're getting me excited for my own TBR, which is good, Robin.
That's
I've
better
heard pretty
than
good things.
And books you haven't bought yet, and now you're like, oh, I gotta buy that book. At least I'm getting you to read the books you have.
Yes. I try not to buy too many books. I want my sort of at least physical TBR to feel somewhat attainable, readable in the near future. So you're helping me out there, Robin. Heard good things about Wayfarers. I think it's supposed to be a modern book that's a little bit more character focused than perhaps some of the hard sci-fi or classic sci-fi that I tend to read. So I think that might be a nice break to mix things up when I'm in the mood for that kind of sci-fi. All right. Well, with my 5th alien, we're going to go to a classic one here. It is the Moties from The Mote in God's Eye by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. So this book is a first contact story, one of the classics of the first contact story. And I think some aspects of this book have dated a little bit, but the aliens, the Moties, they are so interesting. It's a highlight of the book. Learning about the different, within the Moties, there's different types of Moties, and the role that they play, how they look, I found to be really interesting. It's hard to really know what's going on in other people's heads. So when someone says, I'm a visual reader, I'm not a visual reader, I don't really know what that means. I feel like I'm a somewhat visual reader, but sometimes I'll be reading a book and I'm like, I kind of have a vague idea and I'll just fill in the blanks myself. I felt like with the Moties, I got a really good understanding of how they looked, how they behaved. I had like a real, like, do you ever see art, like for, you look at fan art for stuff and you're like, oh, that's not what I envisaged at all. But when I see stuff for the Moties, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So they did a good job of describing the Moties and learning about their motivations, where their society is headed and how that's going to necessarily interact with humans. I thought was absolutely fascinating. So if you like classic sci-fi, you want to learn about some interesting aliens, check out the Moties.
That sounds really cool, actually. That one wasn't already on my TBR, but it's going to be on my TBR now.
Awesome. Alrighty, so there we go. We didn't overlap too much, I don't think. We both had Childhood's End. Yeah,
next pick was going to be my Childhood's End, but
we got a bonus one for you.
I got my bonus one, which I wasn't going to initially talk about Animorphs because it is a middle grade series.
No, go for it.
But I love Animorphs, okay? And I've been rereading it as an adult. It still holds up, and I swear it's not just nostalgia talking. So yeah, this is going to be another one because there's multiple alien species. I'm going to speed date 2 species real quick and then talk about the third one that I really think is interesting and that isn't the main alien in the series. The further I read into the series, the more references to older science fiction I pick up on that was totally lost on me when I was just a kid reading this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So the first species I'm going to talk about super quick are the Yeerks. Can't not mention them when talking about the Animorphs because these are the main big bads of the series. They are invading Earth, and these are your mind-controlling slugs. And then we got the Andalites, and these are the aliens who invented the technology that allows them to morph into animals, and they are the main alien species fighting against the Yeerks. And then the one alien species I really want to talk about that isn't a main one, but I find the most interesting is the Hork-Bajir. They are a peaceful species that are enslaved by the Yeerks into being warriors. So they are actually naturally herbivores, and they're described as reptilian with large blades on their body, which makes them a formidable opponent in battle and the perfect warrior slave, right? But they've originally evolved these blades in the first place because they eat bark, and the blades are used to strip bark from trees. So yeah, that's just yet another series with a lot of cool different alien species spread all the way throughout.
I have not read the Animorphs, but every now and again I'll see it online. The covers will pop up. The covers are pretty amazing. Was the series written in the 90s?
Yes.
I'm going to guess. Oh man, those covers are so 90s. I don't know why I didn't read them as a kid, but I feel like if you were like 10 years old in 1998, that would have just been like absolutely awesome.
Yeah, for me as a kid, it wasn't a trip to the library unless I went to like the chapter book section and just stared at the Animorphs covers before I could read them. And then I finally got old enough to read them, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome.
But that's cool that they kind of hold up though, and you're able to enjoy them on different levels. Like they're kind of fun reading for middle grade aged readers, but also as an adult, as a more experienced sci-fi reader, you're kind of picking up these classic references and things like that. That's very cool.
I have like a few other ones I can like super quick mention. I'm not going to talk about the aliens in them, but just be like, this is a good book with aliens in it.
Oh, bonus content. I like it.
Yeah, because obviously I like my aliens. So yeah, a few different titles. Gonna speed round real quick. These are just books with aliens in them that I found really interesting. I'm not going to talk about the aliens, just going to mention the titles. You Sexy Thing by Cat Rambo, that's another space opera with a multitude of species within the book. Iron Widow by Jiren J. Zhao. That's a young adult with aliens as the enemy, but there's a very interesting twist with the aliens at the end. The Unstoppable series by Charlie Jane Anders. This is her young adult series, space opera series. Another book with just a lot of cool different alien species in it. And then the last book series I want to talk about is the Keetra Saga by Gideon Marcus. There's only a few aliens in this book. The aliens in this world are kind of rare, and that's what makes them the most interesting to me.
Very cool. I like that. Couple bonus ones for you there. I don't think I've read any of those. And the other one that I had on my list, which I thought you might mention as well, because I think you're a fan of it, was Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky.
I haven't read it.
Oh, for some reason I thought you had. Anyway, although this is a bit contentious, because some people say they're not aliens, they're spiders. It's like, yeah, but they're spiders.
Are they from Earth?
Well, originally, but they evolve. Wow. They evolve on another planet into a highly intelligent species of spiders. So, yeah, that one could risk some debate in the comments. But either way, I found the spiders very interesting.
Write in the comments whether you think that they are aliens or not.
Yes, aliens or not aliens. Let us know in the comments what you think of the Children in Time and spiders. Anyway, great book. Love the spiders. There you go. So there's some great aliens. We maybe grew to like some crocodiles, some spiders, and maybe some other ones that we wouldn't become friends with. They might want to destroy all living life as we know it. That's what makes a great book. The relationships, the tension. Let us know some of your favorite aliens in the comments. What are some of the aliens books that we should read? And go check out Robin's channel, the book Wormhole. She loves sci-fi just as much as I do. And Robin, any parting words? Maybe you'd like to comment on my outfit, on my shirt.
What is your shirt?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. So kind of you. Oh. Anyway, if you like the shirt, check the link in the description. Pick one up.
Wait, can I do that again?
No, that was smooth. We nailed it.
No. Oh my God. Wow, what an amazing shirt you're wearing, Jonathan. Where can I get myself one of those?
All right, go get a shirt. Go follow Robin, subscribe, and you can find more sci-fi content over here.